what's going on, guys? Still Twins back at you with a 5-round mock draft.
Absolutely, man. So let's just get right into it. We got a pretty interesting one that could be considered controversial depending on how you look at it. But
Who you talk to, really.
yeah, exactly. So let's just get right into it. With the 20th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Noah Fant, tight end out of Iowa. I know, a tight end in the first round. That sounds a little confusing, but honestly, if you think about it, with the signings of Moncrief and Steven Nelson, and the fact that Devin White and Devin Bush are increasingly, are tremendously increasing their stock by the day, and with the fact that Steelers don't normally trade up in the first round, this is very likely, especially since depending on who we have a receiver on the board, inside linebacker, maybe safety, maybe edge rusher.
Maybe corner.
Yes, so this could be considered a best player available pick. And honestly, it's one that I would be completely high on and one that I would completely go for because, I like Vince McDonald. He definitely had a breakout year last year. He really surprised the hell out of me. I'm sure a lot of Steelers fans as well. And he's definitely a determined number one tight end in my opinion. But his contract I believe, is coming to an end very shortly. And, of course, he does have injury issues. And, of course, we have no depth at tight end. We have no second tight end. We tendered Xavier Grimble, which I still have no idea why. Bucky Hodges could make the roster, but I don't see him as the number 2. And Jesse James went to the Lions and everything. So we don't have depth at tight end, and we don't have a determined or solid number 2. Now, with this pick, I was thinking either T.J. Hockenson or Noah Fant, but the more I think about it, T.J. Hockenson could honestly go top 10 if you really think about it.
Yeah.
So I think Noah Fant, who could be considered the best player available there, could be the pick at number 20 and is a guy that could definitely come in, be the number 2 tight end, potentially move his way up to number 1, depending on what we do with Vince McDonald or whatever. But him and Vince McDonald could be a hell of a dynamic tight end duo. And, quarterbacks or tight ends or quarterbacks, best friends. And, of course, the security blanket, especially when it comes to Ben Roethlisberger. And he would love Noah Fant's height, speed, vertical ability. The only issue I have with Fant, he's not that much of a tremendous blocker. He could work on it, but he is a hell of a fucking receiver. And he has incredible speed. It's like he's a fucking wide receiver out there. It's insane.
Exactly.
So
he's basically a receiver in the tight end's body.
Exactly. So, depending on how you look at it, depending on who you talk to, this could be a weird pick in the first round, but one I honestly think that it could be very likely, and one honestly I would not complain at whatsoever.
And one that's not out the realm of possibility because, again, the Buccaneers did it with O.J. Howard after Brate had a breakout year.
Right. And honestly, now I don't want this pick to be specifically for this specific manner, but we could steal quote-unquote Noah Fant from the Patriots after Gronk retired, and we don't really want Fant going to New England with Tom Brady. I mean, that's just that's a nightmare waiting to happen.
Exactly.
So, that's a fantasy nightmare pretty much. So, but I don't want that. I don't want us stealing him from the Patriots to be the main reason or the specific reason why we grabbed Fant.
Yeah, because if we're going to draft Noah Fant, I want us to draft him because of his talent, because of his play style on the football field.
Yeah, or because there's no other great player on the board. But
right.
Again, this pick really determines who is on the board, but this could be a best player available pick, and the resume for best player available picks when it comes to the Steelers is actually pretty nice. So, and Noah Fant's just a monster, so.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
Now with the 52nd overall pick, the second-round pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Chase Winovich, edge rusher from Michigan.
Yes, man. This is someone that we're incredibly high on. This is someone that has come out and verbally said and expressed that he would love to play for the Steelers, man. And honestly, this guy reminds me a lot of Clay Matthews and Kevin Green, not just based on their look, but just the way he plays the fucking game, man. He has incredible hustle, man. He's fast. He's strong. He can definitely get to the quarterback. His passion, his love, his heart for the sport, man. It just breathes. It just speaks Pittsburgh Steelers.
Exactly.
Really old school Pittsburgh Steelers pass rusher.
Exactly.
Man.
He is so quick off the line of scrimmage, and that's something that we desperately need opposite of T.J. Watt. Plus, Dupree is not that.
Of course. And plus, his hustle is just crazy for, something that you rarely see from guys of his position nowadays. So I think Chase Winovich in the second round, if he does last, which is possible, it could be unlikely, but still very, very, very possible. Him in the second round to replace Bud Dupree would be very nice. And just imagine Winovich and T.J. Watt. Goddamn.
Yeah, offensive lineman, you might want to be shitting your pants.
If they aren't already, just by the thought. So,
yeah, really.
Yeah, seriously, man. Now, with the 66th pick, of course, the pick that we got from the Oakland Raiders, with the 66th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Rock Ya-Sin, cornerback out of Temple. This would apply nothing but depth. At the same time, could be someone that we could develop to either, possibly start opposite of Steven Nelson or Joe Hayden, or if Steven Nelson unfortunately doesn't work out, we could develop him. Or depending on what happens with Joe Hayden, whether he gets injured, which of course he has a history of that, or if Steven Nelson gets injured, or if we let go of Joe Hayden next year because he is coming into the final year of his contract, this is a guy we can develop and be a nice, smooth starter for the Steelers, opposite of whoever. So now Rock Ya-Sin, obviously, I don't think he has the potential. He has the potential to be a day one starter, but he has a lot to work on. With this pick, we were thinking either Julian Love or Rock Ya-Sin, but I honestly think Julian Love will be gone at this time. Now, I would prefer Julian Love over Rock Ya-Sin. I mean, that's just me, but again, I think he'll be gone before the 66th pick. That's why we feel comfortable with Rock Ya-Sin with the early third.
Rock Ya-Sin, he has all the potential in the world to be a dynamic cornerback in the league.
Seriously, he's got some size to him. He's got some speed. He's definitely got the aggression, man. So...
nice tackling ability, good ball skills.
Yes. Now, he is a little raw, of course, but that's why we drafted him in the third to not only apply depth, but could someone that we could develop.
Yeah, and I understand we are terrible at developing defensive backs, but I think with our new defensive back coach, Tom Bradley, I think we can improve on that.
Yeah, seriously. It's possible.
I really think we can, because he's always been a hell of a defensive back coach.
Right. It's very possible. So we'll see what happens, man.
Right.
But
now with the 83rd overall pick, the second third-round pick, Pittsburgh Steelers select Jermaine Pratt, linebacker from NC State.
Yes, this is obviously a pick that I'm sure we've been waiting for in this mock. Inside linebacker. It's clearly our biggest need. It's something that we clearly need to address. We didn't trade up for Bush or White. We didn't, depending on how you look at it, we didn't draft or reach or trade up or down for Mack Wilson. Again, depending on how you look at his stock and everything.
Yeah.
We didn't draft Mack Wilson. And we obviously didn't take care of one in the second round, but we do take care of one in the third round. Now, same thing as last year. We did not take care of inside linebacker pretty much at all. We signed John Bostic, but he was still undetermined at the time, and we didn't really draft inside linebacker last year when Shazier got hurt. And Colbert's come out and said himself, we didn't do enough to replace Shazier. I think they do replace Shazier. Now, I honestly think it's going to be – I think they're going to replace him early. I think they clearly acknowledge that. I mean, it's no fucking secret.
But if there's no other linebacker early in the draft that they really like to fill the void, I think they can drop back into maybe one of the third-round picks to select a guy like Jermaine Pratt.
Yeah, who is incredible in himself. Someone we're incredibly high on. He used to be a safety, then he switched to linebacker, so he has the coverage skills. He has some speed to him, great tackling ability, phenomenal hustle, man. And I've said this a few times, but he reminds me of Deion Jones.
Yeah.
They had the same thing. They were former safeties, and they came down to inside linebacker. They're great coverage guys. They got some speed to him. He's not as fast as Deion Jones, but he does have the hustle like Deion Jones.
Yeah, and he has the athleticism that we need an inside linebacker.
Absolutely. I think Jermaine Pratt in the Steelers uniform in the black and gold to fill in the inside linebacker spot would be very nice.
Right.
He just has all the tools.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, he wouldn't really start day one because of the signing of Mark Barron. Now, I said that Mark Barron wouldn't really start. Now, the Steelers could have Mark Barron start the first few weeks until...
Right, if they want to develop Pratt.
Right, which is, a valuable option. So, we can do many things with Pratt. So, yeah, I think it would be a very nice pick and something that we could use his versatility with nicely in this defense.
Yeah.
Now, at the 122nd pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Mecole Hardman, wide receiver out of Georgia, man. This is a big sleeper. This really is.
Absolutely.
I honestly, a few weeks ago, I honestly didn't know who this was. But then, Just Plays 412, shout out to him, and Bob right here. He mentioned him to me. And, we started looking at his film more, we started looking at his tape, and we're like, damn, man, this guy's a massive fucking sleeper.
Yeah, seriously.
And I think it's someone that that Georgia didn't really utilize in their offense enough. But, he does have some nice height to him as well, of course. He has some nice speed to him, great hands. He'll be a great depth guy, honestly, with the signing of Dante Moncrief. Again, we have a little bit more flexibility to wait for receiver in the draft instead of just being forced into drafting one.
Yeah.
So that's where we get McCole Hartman in the 4th. Could be a very nice steal, nice depth guy, decent special teamer, but one that I think another receiver that we could add to this already promising looking receiving core for next year to be a nice valuable weapon for this offense.
Absolutely.
Apply great depth. So.
McCole Hartman, huge sleeper.
Absolutely.
Keep an eye out for him.
Absolutely.
Now with the 141st pick, our 5th round pick that we got for the Raiders for the Antonio Brown trade, obviously.
Right.
Pittsburgh Steelers select Bryce Love, running back from Stanford.
Yes. What a fucking steal this would be. Bryce Love, you guys already know his story. He was considered to be the best inside linebacker, best running back in this draft class until he was a favorite to win the Heisman, but he was bearing injuries all season.
And he had a very down year, although he did have a good amount of touchdowns. I believe 8 on the season.
Yeah, so it's not too bad. He still had a pretty decent season for bearing injuries and everything. Not the season that we all expected from him, but he still had a pretty decent season. And of course, did he tear his ACL?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, so he had some sort of injury to his knee, which obviously is definitely dropping his stock a lot. And I think that's where we can steal him in the 5th to pair him up with Connor and Samuels, and to start utilizing that Pittsburgh rushing offense and just get back to the old school Pittsburgh offense.
Where we always utilize the rushing game and use our rushing game to help us win games.
Of course. So
that's how we won our 6 straight games last year.
Yeah,
running the ball.
It was one of the main one of the main reasons why we.
Yeah, we said it several times.
Yeah, and of course, one of the main reasons why we beat the Patriots last year as well. So I think we just really have to start utilizing the rushing game a lot more. I think Bryce Love would just complete and fill that hole at running back. So I think him being the 3rd or 2nd guy would be very nice because we can do many things with Samuels, of course. So having him come in as the 2nd or 3rd guy and start really utilizing that rushing game, he would just be he would just complete this rushing.
Absolutely, because you would have a power back in James Conner, a receiving back in Jalen Samuels, and a speed back in Bryce Love.
Right.
That is a scary 3-headed monster right there for the Steelers rushing game.
Absolutely, and we'll just complete this offense pretty much. So anyway, guys, that is the 5th round mock, 5-round mock. Let us know your guys' thoughts, comments below, man. We'll be back with another mock draft in a few days, man. We have it will be a full 1st-round mock draft. We actually have a few of them coming up.
But nonetheless, keep an eye out for those mocks, guys.
Yeah, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Let us know your guys' thoughts about this one in the comments below. We'll see you guys in the next one, man.
Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you later. Peace!